Ma'am, nakamute po ata kayo.
So yun, nakamute niya ako. Sorry na, ulit. Okay, so for today, we'll be discussing terminologies related to handwriting identification and examinations. So, eto mga ituturo natin ngayon are the ones that you should be looking for when you are conducting your handwriting identification and handwriting examinations. Eto na yung mga individual characteristics, kung maalala nyo yung mga nabanggit natin nung nakaraan. At yung individual characteristics ay yung aktual na makapagtutukoy kung kaninong handwriting ang ini-examine ninyo. Okay, so first is alignment. It is the relation of the parts of the whole writing or line of individual letters in words to the baseline. When we say baseline, as in yung literal na linya kung saan nakaapak yung mga letra. Pero minsan, katulad nitong sa presentation natin, wala siyang actual na linya, di ba? Pero meron siyang imaginary line. Dito, di ba, pantay sila. Yan yung baseline. Yung yung pinag-aapakan ng mga letra. Two types yun lined and imaginary. Okay, imaginary baseline, lined na baseline. Katulad sa yellow pad, sa yellow paper, di ba? Literal na may linya, pati sa mga notebook natin. Yun, lined yun. Yun na yung actual na baseline. But for examples like this, ito presentation natin, this is imaginary. Okay. Pag sinabi nating alignment, yung sabi nga dyan, relation of the parts of the whole writing or the line of individual letters to the baseline. Kung yung mga letra mo umaapak ba doon sa baseline, yun yung alignment. Okay. Angular forms. Nabanggit na rin to last time, I think. These are sharp, straight strokes that are made by stopping the pen and changing direction before continuing. Kapag ang handwriting ay medyo patusok, angular siya. Okay? Pag sinabi namang arcade, forms that look like arches, rounded on the top and open at the bottom. Yung sulat niya, pag ganun siya. Yung angular forms and arcade forms, yung itsura niya, di ba? So, kung yung, may mga sulat kasi na patusok, may mga sulat na pabilog. Yung arcade forms, yun yung pabilog, pag ganun siya. Then, open sa baba. Okay? Collation is side-by-side comparison, the critical comparison of a side-by-side comparison. This is a handwriting examination na ginagawa mo. Sabihin na natin, ito yung question document. Tapos ito yung standard, literal na pinagtabi mo sila. That's collation. Okay? Comparison, side-by-side comparison. Pinagtabi mo lang sila. Then, comparison. Yung gagawin mo pagkatapos mo silang i-collate. Gagawin mo pagkatapos mo silang pagtabihin. The act of setting two or more items side-by-side to weigh their identifying qualities. Sa collation, yung pagtabi lang nila. Yun na yun. That's already collation. Yung comparison kapag tinitignan mo na rin siya. Kapag ine-examine mo na rin siya. Kaya nga sabi, weighing their identifying qualities. It refers not only to a visual but also the mental act in which the element of one item are related to the counterparts of the other. You measure kung ano yung pagkakaiba nila visually kapag tinignan mo sila. Okay? And also mentally. Yun na ngang magkakaroon ka na ng rationalization kung bakit parehas sila o hindi sila parehas. Downstrokes. The movement of the pen toward the writer. Literal na pag down lang na gano'n. Kaya nga yung pen papunta daw sa writer. Downstrokes. Disguised writing. A writer may deliberately try to alter his usual writing habits to hide his identity. The results, regardless of their effectiveness, are termed disguised writing. Kapag iniba mo ang sulat mo, that is disguise. Disguise nga, di ba? Tinago mo yung tunay mong sulat. Form, the writer's chosen writing style. So if you can remember the copybook form or the copybook system, that is your form. Kung ano yung itsura o writing style na ginagamit mo as an individual writer. The way the writing looks, whether it is copybook, elaborated, simplified, or printed. This refers to the shape or design of the individual letters. Kung ano yung actual na itsura ng mga sulat mo. Okay? Garland form. A cup-like connected form. Kapag connected siya, cup-like naman, 'di ba? Ang cup, as in cup na iniinuman. Pag ganun siya. Yun naman ang Garland form. Unlike arcade form sa taas. Ganun siya. Rounded on the top and open at the bottom. Gestalt is a German word meaning complete or whole. A good gestalt needs nothing added or taken away to make it look right. It is also a school of handwriting analysis that looks at handwriting as a whole picture. So, gestalt means whole. Titignan mo yung handwriting sa kabuuhan niya, hindi lang per letter. Titignan mo siya ng kabuuhan. Okay? Next is graphoanalysis. The study of handwriting based on the two fundamental strokes, the curve and straight strokes. Okay? Titignan mo lang yung mga curved strokes at saka straight strokes and that you will be conducting graphoanalysis. Graphology, on the other hand, is the art of determining character, disposition, and amplitude of a person from the study of handwriting. It also means the scientific study and analysis of handwriting, especially with reference to the forgeries and questioned documents. Titignan o pag-aaralan kung ano ang katangian ng isang tao base sa kanyang sulat. Ito, seloso ba to? Ito, madaldal ba to? Ito, hindi siya makwento base sa kanyang sulat. So, examples nito, ito. For example, etong secretive. Ewan ko kung nakikita ninyo, pero may copy naman kayo nito sa module ninyo. Check nyo na lang kung di nyo makita masyado dito. Pero sa secretive, kung makikita nyo tong, we call this eye, or eyelet, or eye loop. Closed siya. Dito. Kita nyo? Sabi, circles within circle letters on the right-hand side. Then, the larger the inner loop is, the more secrets this person will withhold from others. Mas malaki daw yung inner loop. Itong eyelet na to. Mas madami daw na sekreto. Kapag magulo naman, kapag nag-combine yung mga loops na ito, kapag nag-merge sila, ikaw naman daw, ay, sinungaling. Lying. Ano pa? Ito, talkative. Kapag talkative ka, madaldal ka, di ba? At open ka. So, katulad nito, open sila. Unlike secretive, closed. Kikita nyo ba? Closed na sila dito. Ito open. Ganon. Okay? What else? Ito naman, jealousy. Pag seloso ka, a tight beginning loop that is small and almost square. It must make a completely closed circle. This person fears the loss of someone's love. He can be very possessive and competitive. Jealousy increases if combined with other insecurities and fears. So yung beginning loop, maliit lang yan, and it is closed. Selosong tao daw yung ganyan. Okay? Ito. Then, this is an example of an angular form. Itong sa aggressive naman. Pag aggressive, shown by hard right upstrokes that replace a lower loop. Kadalasan kasi, di ba, yung mga loop natin, we call this descender. At yung loop, yung bilog. Di ba? Pag ganito ang kadalas ang sulat. Dito kita niyo ba sa letter Y sa jealousy. But in aggressive, hindi na siya bumubuo ng loop. Ganito ang nangyayari. The aggressive person pushes forward into the future, asserting himself physically. Kumbaga medyo may pananakot ng involved. So often this person needs physically aggressive outlets such as competitive sports or even violence. Ayan. Desire for culture, kapag gumagamit ka ng letters ng ibang kultura, ng ibang bansa. For example, etong nasa dulo, this is the Greek letter. This is a Greek letter. At minsan tayo, kung gusto natin yung, mayroon tayong desire for culture, we want to travel, we use other forms and incorporate it into our own handwriting. Okay. Next naman is dual personality. Of course, this is a mental illness. Kapag nagsusulat tayo, ang isang basihan ng handwriting identification is yung slant ng sulat. Merong left slant, vertical, at saka right. Kung papaano yung actual mo na sulat. Pero, kahit ano pa man yan, isa lang yan all throughout your handwriting. Isa lang yan. Kung left slant ka, buong handwriting mo left slant. But, kung meron kang dual personality, it is possible that you have different handwritings also. So, katulad nito. Ayan, severe slant variation in the same word or sentence. Sa iisang word, sa iisang sentence, magkakaiba ng slant. Kung susubukan nyo ngayon, sige, kuha kayo ng notebook at ballpen. Try nyong isulat pangalan nyo, kalahati left, tapos kalahati right. Tapos gawin nyo ng paulit-ulit. Mahirapan kayo. Hindi siya gawain ng normal na tao. Kaya, ang gumagawa lang yan ay yung mga may dual personality. Kasi because of their different personalities, they also have different handwritings. Okay? Then we also have people who are socially selective, mapili sa kaibigan. Long, narrow loops usually in the Y or G. Mahaba yung loop nila pero maliit lang. Yung actual na loop, yung bilog. Yan. Then, okay. Okay. Next is hand lettering, any disconnected style of writing in which each letter is written separately, also called hand printing. When you actually write in script form, ito, kung ganito ang sulat mo, katulad ng font na ito, that's hand lettering. Okay? Letter space, the amount of space left between letters. Obvious naman kung ano yan. So, kunyari, itong letter space, yung space between L and E and T, yung space dyan sa gitna, the space between T and T, the space between T and E, and the space between E and R. Itong mga to, that's called your letter space. Okay. Line direction, movement of the baseline. So it may slant up, slant down, or straight across the page. Diba? Pag nagsusulat tayo na inaantok. nagiging pababa o kaya pataas. That's your line direction. Nag-iiba yung baseline. Yung baseline mo, gumagalaw. Okay? Line space, the amount of space left between lines. So, the space between, nakikita nyo ba yung arrow? Ito, itong hand lettering, yung space dito sa gitna, that's your line space. And then the space here, and between itong space between letter is written separately, and the space between, and the space above itong letter space, that's your line space. Literal na space sa line. Line quality, the overall character of the ink lines from the beginning to the ending strokes. It is the visible records in the written stroke of the basic movements and manner of holding the writing instrument. It is derived from a combination of factors, including writing skill, speed, rhythm, freedom of movements, shading, and pen position. There are two classes, good line quality and poor line quality. Kung ano lang ang itsura nung linya na ginagawa mo, yung mga strokes na ginagawa mo, that's your line quality. Kung maganda ba? Kung akma ba sa rhythm ng sulat mo? Yun. Margins. The amount of space left around the writing on all four sides. So, I think you know margin already. Ito nasa gilid. That's your margin. Movement. It embraces all the factors which are related to the motion of the hand of the writing instrument, skill, speed, freedom, hesitation, rhythm, emphasis, tremors, and the like. The manner in which the writing instrument is moved by finger, hand, forearm, or whole arm. We've discussed this before na merong iba't ibang uri ng movement. At ito yun. Natural writing, obvious naman kung ano yan, yung natural mong sulat, yung hindi disguised. Any specimen of writing executed normally without any attempt to control or alter its identifying habits and its usual quality or execution. Then we have natural variation. These are normal or usual deviations found between repeated specimens of any individual handwriting. When we write, there is a certain amount of acceptability na iba ang sulat mo. Kaya nga 'di ba, pag nagpapapalit tayo ng cheque sa bangko, 3 beses tayo pinapapirma para makita yung natural variation. Kasi normal talaga na nagiging iba ang sulat mo. Ang hindi normal kapag parehas na parehas. If you can remember our lesson before, complete identity means definite forgery. Sure na sure tayo na forged yun kapag pag pinatong mo yung dalawang pirma ay swak na swak. Sure na sure tayo forgery yun. Okay? Next is pen emphasis, the act of intermittently forcing the pen against the paper surface with increased pressure. Kapag ang hawak mo sa ballpen ay diniinan mo, that is called pen emphasis. Okay? Hindi porket nakita nyo yung term na pressure dyan, literal na yung bigat ha. Kumbaga si pen emphasis, binigatan yung sulat. Di ba parang pag nagsasalita tayo, kapag nagbibigay tayo ng emphasis sa isang salita, nilalakasan yung boses. O kaya binabagalan yung salita. That's emphasis. In pen emphasis, dinidiinan yung sulat. Pen hold, the place where the writer grasps the barrel and the angle at which he holds it. When we say barrel, ito yung lagayan ng ink. Yan. Kung papaano mo hawakan to, that's pen hold. Okay? Pen position, the relationship between the pen point and the paper, the orientation of the writing instrument. So, this is the pen point. For example, this is the paper. Kung ano yung relationship nila, kung paganyan ba, paganyan, that is your pen position. Pen pressure, the average force with which the pen contacts the paper. Sabi dyan, average force, hindi yung binigatan ha. Yung binigatan, that's pen emphasis. Ito kasi ang kadalasang medyo na lilito yung mga estudyante. Pen pressure is your average force. Okay? Pen pressure as opposed to pen emphasis deals with the usual or average force involved in the writing rather than the period which increases. Next is print script, a creative combination of printing and cursive writing. When you combine cursive, yung dikit-dikit yung letters. And script, kapag magkakahiwalay ang letters. Pag pinagko-combine mo sila, that's called print script. Proportion, individual characteristics in relative proportion of letters or proportion of a part of a letter or relative height of one letter to another letter. Ratio is the relation between the tall and short letters. Quality is a distinct or peculiar character. This also refers to any identifying factor that is related to the writing movement itself. Kapag merong katangian na meron sa sulat mo, na ikaw lang ang meron, that may be pointed out as a quality. Okay? By the way, proportion, ito yung kung pantay ba, kumbaga kung match ba yung height ng isang letter to another letter. Okay, that's proportion. Okay, regardless kung parehas na small letter yan or parehas na tall letters. Basta tinitignan kung match ba sila. For example, etong etong word na one, O-N-E. Imagine niyo na yung isa ay font size 36. Sabi natin yung letter O, font size 36. Then, yung N ay font size 8. Then, yung E is font size 12. Masasabi natin na hindi sila proportion. Okay? Hindi sila proportion kasi para silang small letters pero magkakaiba sila ng size. Okay? Pero kung magkakaparehas naman sila ng size, then that is proportion. Pag sinabi naman nating ratio, ito ay yung relation between the tall and short letters. Titignan din natin kung match ba yung height ng tall letter doon sa mga small letters. For example, itong word na tall, T-A-L-L. Kung match naman sila, for example, itong letter T is font size 24, letter A is also font size 24, then they are in good ratio. Okay? Gets niya ba? Si proportion, titignan nyo kung bagay ba yung sukat ng mga letra sa isa't isa. Si ratio naman, titignan nyo yung relationship lang nila, yung tall and short letters, in proportion regardless whether tall or short letter. Okay. Rhythm, the element of writing movement which is marked by regular or periodic recurrences. It may be classed as smooth, intermittent, or jerky. So this is the flourishing succession of motion which are recorded in a written record. Periodicity, alteration of movement. Yung flow ng sulat mo, that's called your rhythm. Kaya nga kapag mukhang hindi flowy, kapag parang hindi tuloy-tuloy yung sulat, we may describe it as there is a lack of rhythm. Walang rhythm. Hindi siya swabe. Okay? Shading is the widening of the ink strokes due to the added pressure on a flexible pen point or to the use of a stub pen. If you can remember your Spencerian writing, may mga part doon na medyo makapal ang letra. Ang nangyayari kasi doon, kapag mag-i-increase ang pressure, mas matagal bumababa mas madaming ink na bumababa. Pag mas madaming ink na bumababa, kumakapal yung nakasulat, di ba? And that is called shading. Okay? Significant writing habit, any characteristic of handwriting that is sufficiently uncommon and well fixed to serve as a fundamental point in the identification. So, actually, this is your individual characteristic. Yung bagay na meron sa sulat mo na sa'yo lang meron. That's your significant writing habit. Simplification. So, eliminating extra or superfluous strokes from the copybook model. Literal na pinasimple ang sulat mo. Kung dati madaming arte, if you can remember Spencerian writing, madaming arte, binawasan mo yung kaartehan, naging binilyan na lang ang gamit mo. Then you were able to simplify your handwriting. Size may refer to the overall size of the writing or the proportions between zones. Literal na sukat ng sulat mo. Size. Skill. In any set, there are relative degrees or ability or skill, and the specimen of handwriting usually contain evidences of the writer's proficiency, degree, ability, or skill. Yung kakayahan mo. Sabi nga, di ba, the greater your skill in writing, the greater that there will be, the less that there will be variations in your handwriting. Kasi nga, dahil skilled writer ka, kaya mong kopyahin ng, kumbaga, parehas na parehas yung sulat mo. Yung mga nauna mong sulat na para bang computer na ang nagsusulat. Slope or slant, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina sa inyo sa dual personality, na kapag ang sulat mo ay iba-iba ang slant sa isang word or isang sentence, then maybe that person is suffering from dual personality. So slope or slant is the angle or inclination of the axis of the letters relative to the baseline. So there are 3 classes: slant to the left, slant to the right, and vertical slant. Sulat mo pa ganyan, or pa ganito. Okay? Speed of writing. The personal pace at which the writer's pen moves across the paper. Kung gaano kabilis magsulat ang isang tao, hindi ito yung mabilis magsulat. Ito yung bilis niya sa pagsusulat. System. Combination of the basic design of letters and the writing movement as taught in the school make up the writing system. So this is your copybook system. Kung ano yung tinuro sa inyo sa school. Writing through use diverges from the system, but generally retains some influence of the basic training. So habang nagiging skilled writer ka, habang nag-i-improve ka sa pagsusulat, nagkakaroon ng pagkakaiba, nagda-diverge ka mula dun sa original system. Pero may mga natitira pa rin dun sa sulat mo na mula dun sa copybook system na natutunan mo. Tension. The degree of force exerted on the pen compared to the degree of relaxation. Kung papaano mo hawakan yung ballpen, kung gaano kahigpit ang hawak mo sa ballpen, then that is your tension. Thread form. An indefinite connective form that looks flat and wavy. Yung sulat ng matatanda o kaya yung sulat ng mga doktor, medyo thready na. Thready ang dating na thread form. Variability, the degree to which the writing varies from the copybook model. Kapag nag-iba na ang sulat mo mula dun sa copybook model, that's variability. Then variation is the act or process of changing. Word space, the amount of space left between words. For example, itong space between word and space, that's word space. The space between the and amount, word space yan. Space between amount and of, that's word space. Writing conditions, the circumstances under which the writing was prepared and the factors influencing the writer's ability to write at the time of execution. Kung ano ba yung meron sa'yo na writer nung nagsusulat ka, yun yung writing condition. Ano ba yun? It includes the writer's position. Nakatayo ka ba nung nagsusulat ka? Nakaupo ka ba nung nagsusulat ka? The writer's support and backing, and the writing instrument. Ano yung gamit mong ballpen? Ano yung gamit mong panulat nung pagkakataon na sinulat mo yung dokumento? Writing ability may be modified by the conditions of the writer's health, nervous state, or degree of intoxication. Of course, kung may sakit ka nung panahon na nagsulat ka, iba ang magiging handwriting mo. Kasi yun nga yung writing condition mo at the time you were doing your document. Wrong-handed writing. Any writing executed with the opposite hand that is normally used. It is also known as with the awkward hand. If you are right-handed at ginamit mo ang left hand mo, then you are using your wrong hand. Or you are doing wrong-handed writing. It is one means of disguise. So kung ayaw mong kung gusto mong baguhin yung sulat mo, hindi mo gagamitin yung normal na panulat mo. For example, right hand nga. You use your other hand. Okay? Thus, the writing of a right-handed person which has been executed with his left hand accounts for the common technology for this class of disguise as left-hand writing. But if you are left-hand, ang wrong hand mo, syempre right. Writing impulse, the result of the pen touching down on the paper and moving across the page until it is raised from the paper. So, if you are writing, syempre nakaapak yung ballpen sa papel, di ba? At inangat mo na yung ballpen mo sa pagsusulat, then that is your writing impulse. Okay? The writing impulse, the point where umapak ang ballpen mo hanggang sa point na inangat mo ang ballpen mo, that's your writing impulse. Okay? Reprographic examination from the word reproduce. Ano ba yung mga documents na na-reproduce? Diba? Photocopy, yung mga scanned picture. Yan. So, reprographic examination refers to examination of documents which includes photocopies, facsimile, photographs, and the like. Basta lahat ng mga nireproduce na documents na i-examine natin is called reprographic examination. Rubric or embellishment. This refers to the additional unnecessary strokes to legibility or of letter forms or writings but incorporated in writing for decorative or ornamental purposes. Ito yung mga kaartehan sa sulat. Yung mga madaming ganun-ganun muna bago yung actual na letra. That's rubric of or embellishment. This is usually added to signatures to enhance what is to the writer their pleasing appearance. Ano ba yung maganda para dun sa writer? Yan yung mga kaartehan, di ba? So, yun yung rubric na tinatawag natin. This serves as security to make a signature more difficult to imitate or forge. Okay.